Hello, everyone. Whether it is morning, afternoon, or evening where you are, I am very delighted that you could join me today. Welcome to Triple Whale's monthly webinar series, where we explore hot topics and gather industry experts to provide exclusive insights and tips. I am Erin Watt, one of the tech partner managers here at Triple Whale, and your host for this very exciting series on BigCommerce tools that will help you unlock your post-holiday success. So, as I mentioned, super thrilled to be here with everyone today. But before we dive in, let's make this interactive. Let's have everybody drop a message in the chat, say hi, let us know where you're tuning in from. For instance, I'm joining from Toronto, Canada. The weather here is keeping me on my toes. All right. One day, my dog and I are cooling off in front of a fan like it's midsummer. And the next, I'm sipping on some cinnamon tea in a really cozy sweater. Have no idea what's going on right now. Definitely wanting more of the fall weather, though. I'm done with the summer. Okay. Absolutely done with the summer. So need this fall weather. Also, I've added some questions. I have added a question to our poll and also would love to see your answers. So I really do feel this is a great question to get the series started. What has been your biggest challenge in keeping customers engaged and loyal to your brand? So some of the answers I have here, which I thought were good ones: personalizing product recommendations, sending real-time tailored messages, identifying top performing campaigns, managing inventory post-holiday, offering a multi-storefront option, or handling shipping delays. And you can answer all of them. There's multi answers that you can put in there as well too. All right, we already getting some people answering. Okay, and all right, let's see. We got some people coming in from Southern Carolina. Hello. We got Austin in the house, Liverpool, UK, New Jersey. Guys, we are a worldly crowd. I'm loving to see this. Got another Texan. So much fun. Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta. Hello, everyone. Okay, let's see how we're doing with the poll. So if you don't know where the poll is, you can also, just on the little side, you'll actually see that there's a few different toggles. You'll see the poll and you can actually answer them there. It should also be on the screen as well too. Beautiful. Oh my God, we got Scotland. Okay, I'm loving this. Such a worldly group today. This is beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And just allow a couple more minutes because I do still see that people are trickling in. Is Aaron Mr. 305, Mr. Worldwide? Maybe. Okay. Yes, welcome everyone. So happy for everyone to be here. Okay, so now that we've a few more minutes in, just want to give another big welcome to everyone who is just tuning in today. So for today's webinar, we will be exploring how to shift focus as the holiday rush winds down. And we now are going to dive in some tools and strategies that are going to drive success after the peak season. So we've gathered the top industry leaders to share their must-have tools and tactics to keep your momentum going and to retain customers well into the new year. So whether you are an experienced e-commerce pro, you're new to the industry, or maybe you're just looking to elevate your strategies, you'll walk away today with some really actionable insights and achieve those outstanding results in your business. And today's agenda is packed with some fantastic speakers sharing some valuable insights. I will be your host and also presenting on behalf of Triple Whale. But kicking things off, we do have Ethan, our Senior Competitive Intelligence Manager over at BigCommerce, followed by Griffin, the Partner Manager at Clevu. I will be presenting on behalf of Triple Whale, followed by Lauren, our Senior Tech Partner Manager over at Attentive. And then finally, we are excited to have Quentin, the COO of Shipper HQ, closing out the session. Now, we understand that work, kids, or pets might demand your attention. So if you do miss any of the presentations, or maybe you need to rewatch because you couldn't take your notes fast enough, we are recording all the sessions and we'll email them to everyone who signed up and attended today's webinar. And that's not all. So here at Triple Whale, we love to keep things exciting and reward our active participation during presentations. So our fabulous speakers have come together to provide some really amazing giveaways for the most engaged audience members. So Triple Whale will be giving away a $100 Visa gift card. Attentive will be giving away a $75 Uber gift card. We got Shipper HQ giving away a $75 Starbucks card so everyone can get all their pumpkin spice lattes. We have Cleview, who will be giving away a full e-commerce edit, and BigCommerce will be giving away a $75 gift card to Alice, which I'm pretty sure is a site that provides different gifting options that you can choose from. And some of you might be sitting here being like, okay, Erin, but what does it mean to be an engaged audience member? Well, it's super simple. Engage in the chat by asking questions, networking with your fellow attendees, or sending emojis and positive comments. So I'm going to be blindly scrolling through the chat to choose the winner. So the more you participate in the chat, the higher chances of winning a giveaway at the end of each presentation. And please be engaged. I don't want to get to the end of the presentation and have no one to choose from. And we have some wonderful giveaways to give out to everyone here. So please, let's do that. And before we jump in, all right, so just want to take a quick look at the poll. Okay, so some of the big challenges that our attendees are finding to keep their customers engaged and loyal. It looks like personalized product recommendations is a big one, sending real-time tailored messaging, identifying top performing campaigns, managing inventory past holiday, and also handling ship delays seem to be the main ones there. Well, you're in luck. We have some experts that definitely can touch on all of those points. So with further ado, let's just jump into this. So I am very excited now that we've gone over some housekeeping to welcome our first speaker. Joining me on stage is Ethan, the senior competitive intelligence manager over at BigCommerce. Ethan, welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you perfectly. Welcome.
Okay, great.
All right, wonderful. So I'm going to let you set up, maybe just share your screens to make sure that we can see it all. Oh, beautiful. Love the intro slide. This looks great. Okay.
I didn't make it, but I'll take credit for it.
Well, the stage is yours, Ethan. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Ethan Lipinski. I'm the Senior Product Marketing Manager over Competitive Intelligence here at BC. And like I said, today I want to talk about some of the new tools and functionality that we've been working on that can help in the post-holiday season as you start to strategize for 2025. I think probably goes without saying that the holiday season is a critical time for retailers. I mean, the effort that you put in can significantly impact your success, not just during the holiday season, but going into the new year as well. And if you can handle the massive demand and outpace your competitors, you often come out with a strong financial nest egg or I guess a cushion headed into January. The post-holiday season is, in my opinion, just as important, if not more important, that in terms of customer engagement. I think about myself, like shoppers are typically fatigued. You've been inundated with ads and sales promotions for weeks, and you're now kind of looking for a different kind of experience. So this period is essential for reassessing strategies to meet the shifting needs of post-holiday shoppers and prepare for the new year. So if you're thinking about or already expanding into new markets, one area where you can create a more tailored, personalized experience for customers now is within our checkout. So success in the international e-commerce starts with how you would attract and engage people from around the world. The moment you land on a site, you want it to feel like it was kind of built for you. I think part of our mission here at BC or BigCommerce is to empower your global expansion and grow your presence across the world through using our multi-storefront solutions. And in the past few months, we've released a range of capabilities that allow you to create fully localized shopping experiences for different countries, enabling you to tailor every aspect of each storefront from content, theme, and catalog to currency, payments, checkout settings, promotions to SEO settings, and more. But one thing that I'm excited to see from BigCommerce is that we now support like fully localized checkouts, so you can craft unique experiences for every storefront, including like your order confirmation pages. Now with channel-aware checkout settings, you can override global checkout settings using our channel manager to configure a unique experience for each storefront, ranging from creating a fully custom checkout for a new market to typically like requiring shoppers to consent to local privacy policies for like a specific country. Moreover, you can set up unique payment solutions and currencies for different storefronts, so you can use the most cost-effective payment provider for each country while providing shoppers with like local payment options. These options capabilities are pretty flexible. So you can mix different technologies such as Stencil with headless. You can create B2B and B2C storefronts, run multiple brands, and even set up, like I said, custom checkouts for some storefronts while leveraging our native one-page checkout for others, all from a single instance. Now, personalization is not just about localizing the shopping experience. It's about delivering the right promotions that resonate with your audience at the right time. So one major trend that I was recently reading about this holiday season is the demand for straightforward promotions. So while shoppers are willing to spend, they're dealing with the ongoing impacts of like inflation and high interest rates. So with our granular promotion and targeting, you can get enhanced control over which customers and products are eligible for promotions, as well as the ability to target not just the entire product categories, but down to specific variants and modifiers. So you can more finely tune your promotional strategy and specify exactly like who gets access to the promotions. I feel like this is probably especially valuable for post-holiday clearance sales, where you need to move specific inventory without offering blanketed discounts across your entire catalog. So, because after the holidays, like a customer's mindset starts to change, right? Many people begin focusing on themselves rather than purchasing gifts for others, and your sales and promotions should probably reflect that. It's a perfect time of year to clean out like any unsold holiday inventory, which I think is probably challenging for a lot of retailers. I know years ago when I was a customer success manager, I feel like this was a regular exercise every year that like we went through with a lot of merchants in my book of business. Because even the most seasoned retailers can overestimate demand, and leftover stock can quickly clog up warehouses and add to like your overhead costs. So shoppers have come to expect, let me back up. So shoppers have come to expect these types of sales, often holding out on purchases until after the holiday rush for better deals. Like that's something that I do because I'm a little cheap. But granular promotion targeting lets you create highly specific offers that focus on individual products instead of just like gift bundles. For example, you can create like exclusive offers for certain customer groups like VIPs or repeat buyers, and tailor those promotions by currency, customer segment, shipping destination. This helps like boost profitability and effectively moving the right items at the right time, and helps ensure like you're offering the right deals to the right audiences, driving conversions while maintaining control over some of your margins. But as I mentioned, delivering highly personalized experiences at the checkout and through promotions can have a significant impact on conversions. But I feel like to truly unlock the potential of e-commerce businesses, you need to extend that level of detail into every aspect of your brand's interaction with your customers. And that's where AI can play a transformative role, helping create personalized experiences faster and more efficiently. Creating compelling SEO optimized product descriptions is crucial, but it is a pretty time consuming process. And that's where I'm excited to see that BigCommerce has come out with and is continuing to invest in our big AI copywriter. Now, I'm sure like a lot of you have probably already heard about it. You may have already tried it, or maybe you're even already using it. It was recently updated with Google's Gemini Pro. And I feel like it's relevant to like this conversation, especially like thinking about 2025 as we approach the holiday season and then start thinking about like what happens after the holidays. This is a tool, like I said, when I was a customer success manager, I wish existed because it would have been hugely beneficial, not only to me, but a lot of the customers that I was working with around those times. So it seamlessly integrates directly into the ad edit product UI within your control panel and enables you to craft like high quality product descriptions that align well with your brand's voice quickly and effortlessly. The copywriter, you can customize the descriptions using settings for style, tone, keywords, and length. And whether you want an informal tone, or an upbeat and confident voice, copywriter will adapt to the specific needs. This type of flexibility is great for allowing you to define your brand's personality, ensuring your descriptions resonate with that target audience. Um, Additionally, beyond style, the copywriter offers a customizable word limit, so you can generate descriptions of any length. Whether you're crafting a short blurb or more detailed product overview, you can easily adjust the character limit to suit those requirements. And I think one of the reasons I really wanted to focus on or bring this up today is because one of my favorite parts of this tool is its ability to optimize for SEO, which is always a huge challenge when I was, again, a customer success manager or a project manager here amongst merchants. And you can specify the exact keywords and phrases you want to include, ensuring that your product descriptions are fine-tuned for those search engines. This helps boost products rank. This helps products rank higher in search results, driving more organic traffic, ultimately boosting some conversions. And Copywriter offers two flexible experiences. The guided experience provides a quick and easy way to generate descriptions with preset options that works well for when you need to move really quickly. And alternatively, there's a custom experience that gives you full control, allowing you to input comprehensive instructions, ensuring the output matches a brand's specific needs. So I guess TLDR, in short, it helps save time, enhances some efficiency, and ensures product descriptions are both persuasive and optimized for search engines while staying true to like your brand's unique voice. But AI, at least to me, isn't just about what we've built natively. It's about enabling your teams and developers to create even more. So one of my personal favorite things about working for BigCommerce is that at least in my opinion, we try really hard to focus on fostering the growth for businesses of all sizes by providing them with a platform that works out of the box, but is open enough to adapt to specific company needs. So you never feel, I guess, too boxed into one place. And that's why I think that's why we released the open source AI foundations, which is a tool that provides developers with flexible frameworks to build custom AI driven solutions directly within the BigCommerce control panel. So whether you're building AI powered chatbots for customer service, personalized product recommendations, or even automated inventory forecasting tools, you can build an app that aims to accelerate that development process. The beauty of AI foundations is that it's open source, which I really think is unique for us. And meaning developers have the freedom to innovate and build exactly what their business needs without having to completely start from scratch. So by offering pre-built components and a seamless integrations, we're trying to reduce the time to market for AI-driven solutions while simultaneously allowing brands to quickly implement tools that enhance creativity, productivity, and decision-making. And to me, I guess, in my opinion, this is a great way or a great reflection of like the BigCommerce commitment to building a core platform that empowers brands to apply your coat of paint when it comes to creating highly tailored shopping experiences that aren't always possible or easily possible on a lot of other platforms. So AI, though, I guess is really just one part of the future of e-commerce. With consumers now being accustomed to tailored experiences through social media algorithms, personalized messaging, and customized online shopping, unique personalized experiences have quickly become an expectation. For brands, offering this individualized experience is key to showing shoppers that they're valued. So I kind of wanted to shift gears away from something like AI to talk about, I'm sure you've heard of it before, our next gen storefront, Catalyst, and how it blends the flexibility of composable architecture with the ease of use of out-of-box storefronts. Catalyst was designed specifically to make the most modern storefront technology available today for everyone. It's a nice blend of the latest capabilities and flexibilities of open source with that ease of use, security, scalability of SaaS, which in my opinion is something I feel like BigCommerce has really been trying to perfect for probably the last decade. Now, historically, adopting headless and composable commerce architectures has come with a lot of high costs and risks. And while this approach does provide great performance and unique brand experiences, they've often been more expensive, complex to design, plan, manage than like a traditional SaaS option. It's a big reason for this that the e-commerce platforms either restrict access to their architecture or they might lack easy to use merchant facing tools, which makes implementation harder and ongoing management a challenge. So Catalyst is a nice representation of like our next step forward in changing that by allowing brands to create unique, highly performant, and accessible experiences easier and faster without having to reinvent the wheel every time. It's supported by a range of apps from our marketplace, and Catalyst helps to accelerate that time to market and improve maintainability while delivering what customers demand, which is high performant, accessible, and shopper friendly experiences. And right along Catalyst, alongside it, is one of the newest products from our portfolio, which is MakeSwift, a low no code page builder for any Next.js site. And MakeSwift aims to empower the non-technical business user with the flexibility to manage those business portfolio pages with zero coding knowledge. So you can make and customize beautiful and engaging experiences without having to rely, once again, on developers to pretty much do everything. So Catalyst storefronts with MakeSwift, it really, I feel like, culminates in this mission that we have of making composable commerce more accessible and maintainable for more brands broadly. It's a nice combination for anyone looking to embrace composable commerce, embrace composable commerce so they can quickly build high converting experiences without sacrificing time, quality, resources, and keep things pretty simple and easy to manage. And soon you'll start to see Catalyst become more native to the platform, meaning it will become optionally headless. So there won't be a requirement to use like a third-party host to evolve into something that's a little bit more like a SaaS product. So there'll be instant creation of new storefronts right from the control panel, no-code visual editing for marketing teams, and seamless integrations with control panel features, as well as broader coverage for all BigCommerce features. It's always going to be composable, but headless will be optional for customers who want to benefit from controlling their own hosting or who can benefit from incredible development tooling like with Vercel, for example. But with all this emphasis on Catalyst, I've heard this quite a bit. We get a lot of questions about the future of Stencil, and I just want to kind of close out with, just to be clear, Stencil's not going anywhere, and we do plan on investing in and supporting Stencil for at least the foreseeable future that I'm aware of. Questions?
So yeah, I do have a question for you. This one is going to be about the checkout process. So how can BigCommerce help with brands to make their checkout process more quickly for their shoppers?
Checkout process more quickly for shoppers. I don't think this is necessarily a quote unquote a native tool for BC, but I really was excited about, and I think it's pretty cool what PayPal Fastlane has came out with. I know BigCommerce always talks about we have a very close relationship with PayPal, but PayPal is a tool that I think is going to reach a lot. Or PayPal Fastlane is a tool that's going to reach a lot of customers broadly in a lot of different demographics. I think, for example, like my mom is super paranoid about buying anything online, and she won't check out with literally anything but PayPal. And now she has already logged into sites and see that she has a single click option. And as long as the PayPal brand is there, she clicks it. And with PayPal Fastlane, I think it's anyone that has a PayPal account, which I could be wrong about this. This is off the top of my head. I think they have about 400 million merchants globally, and 230 million of them are active. So it reaches a pretty broad group of customers all across the globe who have PayPal accounts that when they get to a site, they have a single click option to convert pretty quickly. And for people like my mom who are super skeptical about everything, they're going to convert much faster than the traditional way, I guess.
And honestly, moms should be skeptical. Like, there are a lot of reasons why the internet can be a scary place. But also, we're all looking for convenience. Even for me, if I'm signing up to be a part of a program or just a part of, someone's website to log in, I want to be able to access my Google Gmail. I don't want to have to create this whole account. So even just the convenience of being able to have that one click option and then on top of it, the security, I think, is really, really helpful. I also, this wasn't really a question, but I wanted to bring it up because I thought, Maxane also brought up a good point. So they were mentioning that they've used an external AI tool to enhance their product descriptions, but they found that it uses the same adjectives, over and over, making it really to spot that it's AI. And then they normally have to go in and adjust. So I want to kind to find out about what would be the big difference with the big AI copywriter versus these external other, chat GBT type tools.
That's a really good question. I'm not sure I'm going to have a perfect answer for you, but the
That's
BA
okay.
writer, it was built during a hackathon that was using those big AI foundations that I talked about. So it's an open source application. So I'm not technical enough to know like really how you can manipulate or influence the AI tools that it's leveraging with Gemini. But since it's open source, I have to assume that there is a way to do it, and you can have a little bit more influence over like the adjectives and the keywords that it's using. If you want, I can probably get some contact info, or we can share contact info, and I could maybe help find a better answer for you if that's okay.
Yeah, Ethan, that'd be actually great. If you could even, after the presentation, you can put all your information into the chat so that individuals would be able to also reach out with you for additional questions. And then you'd be able to also provide some more details on big AI copywriter, which sounds very exciting. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have had my contact info on the slide, and I didn't do
No,
it.
no, no, don't worry. Don't worry. That's what the chat is for. It's no big deal. But before we jump off, we do have the prize of the $75 gift card to Allison. Was I right by saying that it is like a site that you can pick multiple options from? I
Yeah.
think. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I'm just going to quickly scroll through and we are going to choose Brianne Auger, sorry. You are the winner of the $75 gift card to Alice. Congratulations. So excited. Wonderful. And then even if you don't mind staying back for a couple minutes, if there's some questions in the chat that you're able to answer, but also if you can leave some of your contact information as well too, that'd be very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. This has been a great start. Some great information from Ethan over at BigCommerce. Everyone's starting to get a little bit more interactive in the chat, which I love to see. Let's keep this up because honestly, this is also just a really great time to not only learn from the experts, but also learn from your fellow attendees. Like we have some experts watching this webinar right here, right now, that can also talk about their experiences and provide their advice. So not only is this a great opportunity to win some great prizes, but it's also an opportunity to learn from one another. So let's get on to the next presentation. So very excited to be welcoming on stage Griffin, the partner manager over at Clevue. Griffin, please come to the stage.
Yeah. Hey, Aaron.
Hi, Griffin. And can you please am I pronouncing the name right? Clevue?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So we're a Finnish company. So we get Clevue. Kind of just depends where on the globe you are, how you pronounce it. But you're right on there, Aaron. You're perfect.
Okay, and that actually makes me feel even better because I do have some Finnish heritage
Yeah, there you go.
in me. So it's good to know that I got it, somewhat right, or I got it right this time.
You making them proud. Yeah, you were right on.
Wonderful. Okay, well, let's see. Let's get you to share your stage really quickly.
Yeah, let's make sure I'm doing it right. Just make sure you got me there.
Beautiful. All right, Griffin, the stage is yours.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, Aaron. Appreciate it. Yeah, so just a little background on me. My name is Griffin Houlihan. I'm a partner manager here at Clevue. Excuse me. So I manage a lot of the relationships between us and our North American partners here. So technology partners, platform partners, all that good stuff. So I am kind of serve as a day-to-day point of contact for a lot of our partners. For those of you who are not aware of who Clevue is, we are a BigCommerce elite partner, and we are a discovery suite. We power all things discovery on the website. So when we started back in 2013. We're based out of Helsinki, Finland. We started off as just a search technology. A lot of people might know us as Clevu Search. But through feedback from partners as well as customers, we heard it was very frustrating to, go to one provider for search, another one to help them, with their category pages, and then another one to help with recommendations. So we really wanted to be become that one-stop shop for all things discovery. So that led us to add our two additional products of smart category merchandising and recommendations. During this slideshow, I'm just going to kind of go through some of the areas that we see come up a lot with merchants we talk to, some issues that they face specifically within the kind of customer experience and discovery journey, and some areas that you can make some quick wins with if you can address them and really capitalize on that customer base that's already on your website. This is a survey we actually did with BigCommerce through YouGov, and we found out that the top three, things that or customers found useful when they were browsing on websites was first the ability to be able to apply filters. The second one being able to see and interact with ratings. That's another big thing that comes up with a lot of merchants we talk to. The ability to you spend a lot of resources gathering up that rating information, being able to make it accessible on the front end via the search. That's something that's super important too. And then search bar functionality in general. I'm sure you guys have all experienced it. The massive difference in variation of the search bar usage on websites, how useful it is to use. Some are very, very, user friendly, and it's very easy to browse and navigate. Others are very, very tough to navigate, and tough to find what you're looking for. So, having a search bar that's going to provide those accurate results, those are going to be your top three things. So first, we're just going to begin at the search bar in general. So right around 40% of shoppers immediately go to the search bar on their when they come to a website. Those are going to be your highest converting shoppers. Those are going to be people that generally are coming to the website knowing what they're looking for. The people who are maybe browsing in the category pages, things like that, maybe they're just starting their journey. Those high high leverage shoppers, the people who really know what they're looking for, those are going to be the people that are going to be interacting with those search bars. And you'll see here they're 4 to 6 times more likely to convert. So having a search bar that's going to be, one, easy to find, something that's front and center, front of the page, easy to find, but then also once they're converting, or once they're on that search bar and interacting with the search bar, eliminating the friction and making it as easy as possible for those shoppers to find what they're looking for. Enrich the search. That's another big one here. So, keystrokes, activating auto suggestions for things like, completing the word or the phrase, right? Completing that kind of the search for them. Recommend products. So, as they're shopping, as they're typing, recommending the products to pop up even before they finish their search term. Special offers. Maybe you have banners or things that you can have that pop up that show, hey, 10% off this specific brand that you're looking at. Maybe take them to a landing page, thing like that. CMS content. This is something I have a slide on a bit further, but making that blog content and CMS content, how-to manuals, making that a lot more, a lot easier to find, right? A lot of customers and a lot of websites that we speak with, they spend a lot of time and resources on that CMS and blog content, but then it's really, really hard to find. It's tucked away somewhere under a tab in the top right corner of the website. Be proud of that blog information. We see that shoppers, at least I'll use myself too as an example. Like, I become a lot more confident in my purchase if I have that additional information to reference. So if there are those manuals, how-to videos, things like that I can watch before completing my purchase, that can really help boost conversion rates as well. And then helpful links, right? Returns, frequently asked questions, all that good type of stuff. Making all that very accessible. Go into the search bar. If somebody searches for returns, it should take them to the returns section on the website. Make sure that typos can still drive revenue. So this is a really big one, and something, especially today in the day of mobile searching, that is very, very important. It's very easy to, what they call fat finger, right? When you're searching for something and hit the wrong key. You have to have a search that's able to look past those misspellings and still produce relevant results, right? So having a search in place that isn't going to completely, remove that shopper from your website where they're going to hit back and bounce, having something in place that's still going to be able to look past those errors is something that's a really big deal. So you'll see here, Totem, we work with them, 24% increase in search led conversion rate after using partnering with Clevu, and then 3% more time on the site spent by shoppers. So just those two numbers there, a massive increase in that ultimate conversion rate and revenue there. Again, synonyms. This is a really big one. This is something that a lot of people I know have to spend a lot of manual time doing. It's called it's their synonym enrichment. So you have your products labeled as one thing on the store. Their shoppers are searching in a different way. An example I like to use here is say you have you sell shoes, right? And you have kids shoes that are labeled as kids shoes in the back end, but people are on the website searching for children's shoes. A lot of keyword based technologies will produce, either zero results or irrelevant results. Again, adding a layer of kind of friction to that buying process. There's nothing that's going to make a shopper, hit back on the arrow in the top left than if they're not able to find what they're looking for. So you'll see here an example we used of a site that does not do a good job with synonym enrichment. I search for nail gun. You'll see that it's bringing up nail strips. I search for nailer, something that could be used as a different word for nail gun, and you see we're getting the actual nailers we're looking for. So even though I search for nail gun, we're not getting those relevant results. Again, we just want to eliminate that friction within the buying process. Something that we do here at Clevu is what we call our automatic catalog enrichment. So we have something that we call our AI lab, where we actually take what we call a layer of linguistic enrichment, and we apply that on top of the catalog in metadata format. So it's going to take away a lot of those synonyms that might come up right out of the box, right? Clevu is going to understand that kids and children mean the same thing. That if you sell, maybe clothes, that teal, navy, and aqua, that those are all shades of blue. So again, eliminating that friction within the buying process, that's something that Clevu is going to help with right away with our synonym enrichment. Different units of measurement. Again, this is another big one. So being able to understand that 150 millimeter screw is the same thing as a 1.5 centimeter screw. Being able to understand that the same units of measurement, that kind of character normalization, again, eliminating a lot of friction within the buying process, making sure that shoppers are able to find what they're looking for the first time that they're searching for something. And then making content more accessible. So I know I mentioned this earlier. This is Delalo, they sell Italian food, a company we work with. You'll see here that when I typed in pasta sauce, that you're of course going to get the pasta sauce, the products here, but you also see that they're showing recipes right beneath the pasta sauces there. So the CMS content here is just as important to them as the actual products, and they almost become a resource to their shoppers too, where they get repeat users who come on the site. They love the recipe that leads them to buying more products. You see, just getting this type of CMS content in front of shoppers can really, really help with that customer experience. Banners, I mentioned this one before, but again, letting people know, hey, we have a certain sale going on. This is a really, really big customer experience, improvement that a lot of shoppers or a lot of websites can make. Excuse me. You can have these be, maybe keyword specific banners. So maybe you sell, shoes, and anytime somebody comes to the website, you want a Nike banner to pop up when they just search for Nike. You can do that. Maybe you have a store-wide sale going off. When any keyword is fired, you want that 20% banner to pop up. Just again, improving that customer experience, kind of almost guiding them on their shopping journey. That can really, really help with boosting, the per session value of shoppers on the website, as well as just increasing conversion rates, kind of giving them a bit of a guided journey when they're on your website. And the very last thing I want to talk about, guys, is just product recommendations. So this is something that we saw as a big, something that a lot of people wanted to touch on this year. A lot of merchants came to us specifically for product recommendations. Trying to increase that average cart size is something that's really big. Being able to get these recommendations in front of people on as many areas as you possibly can, right? Showing them, what's trending store wide on the homepage, showing them, completing a set on the product page before they check out, showing them, on the add to cart page, hey, here's some last minute things to add to the cart, right? Just getting these recommendations in front of them in as much and as many places as possible, and also then making them relevant as well. So using real time information, tracking of behavior on the website to show recommendations and making them a little bit more relevant to the customer, and not just randomly on there as top products. You're going to get a lot more value out of that. So just personalizing those recommendations, that's going to be something that's really going to help, one, improve the customer experience. They're going to feel like, hey, the site's listening to me, changing products based off of what I'm actually looking at on the site. But then that's also going to increase your AOV, increase the cart size, what everybody's looking to do there. Yeah, and here's an example of on the a GIF here on the product, or excuse me, on the cart page. You'll see where you scroll down underneath the cart, they're going to have these recommendations here. On the add to cart page, I always like to explain it of thinking of being at like the grocery store, right? When you're waiting to check out and you have all that like candy and magazines and like all the stuff that you generally don't need, kind of cheap items. Those can be really, really good things to throw on the add to cart page as recommendations, as like kind of cheap items for people to throw in the cart before they check out. Ruli actually did something really cool where they had in like a $15 shipping protection recommendation that they showed as one of their recommendation banners. So I thought that was a really cool way of kind of increasing cart size as a one more effort before they hit checkout. But yeah, definitely would recommend getting recommendations in front of your shoppers in as many areas as you can. And I think that was it for me on the presentation side. Yeah.
Loved the presentation, and we have so many questions
Oh,
from
great.
so many people.
Yeah.
I do have to make a comment about the checkout recommendations because I
Yeah.
do think it's brilliant. I am definitely the consumer that always will add something to cart, increasing my AOV.
Me too.
Um,
I just did it. I was buying some shoes online and I bought 2 additional pairs of shoelaces that I didn't need and wouldn't have ever bought, but because it was right in front of me, it's like, yeah, sure, why not? Like I'll buy the additional shoelaces. So it definitely
100%.
it definitely works.
And the other thing I want to also make a mention too is that so there's been some smart ones that I've seen as well, like, faster shipping
Yeah.
or process times. The the one thing I really want to note though is that if you are going to do something outside the box that is going to be more of a service other than a product, because this is something that I just recently went through,
Yeah.
you need to really follow through with that. Because I paid, I think it was like something silly, like an extra $4 to be my order to be processed faster, which means I would
Yeah.
have received it faster. My order took 2 weeks to receive. Not only that, though, I didn't get a confirmation email right away. So you just think you're like, okay, if I'm paying for my order to be processed faster, all of the steps would happen sooner,
And
and
you
they
remembered
didn't.
that, right? I mean, it was only
I'm talking about it
$4 and
now.
you remembered it, right? So exactly like you said, like if you're gonna
Yeah,
offer something that is a service, just make sure you have the ability and the facilities to like follow up on those type of things. Like because people do remember, even if it is like, hey, paying a couple extra dollars to get shipping faster or whatever it might be, like people remember those small additional costs. So yeah, definitely being able to follow up.
huge. Yeah,
Huge, huge,
yeah,
absolutely.
those ones are huge. So
Yeah.
I'll choose one of the questions.
Cool.
If you don't mind, Griffin, staying back and answering some of
Of
them while
course.
you're
Yeah,
still here,
please.
that would be wonderful. Um, okay, so I thought this one was really interesting from Bernardo, who's actually a Cleview customer.
Yeah.
So he was just finding that sometimes the customization can be a bit more permissive,
Sure.
and he's found it that sometimes just a little painful to add custom CSS and JS to their Cleview widgets.
Yeah.
What can you help out with there?
Yeah, so that is something that we've gotten feedback on. It's actually been a pretty big emphasis for us over the last 6 months, is really kind of being able to do more what we say out of the box with our template. So historically, you had kind of two options with the Cleview template. Was we had these two what we called out of the box templates, and from there they're very customizable, but it is kind of a limited start. So what we've done is we've made more what we call ready-made templates, which are accessible through our Cleview Merchant Center, which give more of a bit of a sleeker kind of starting place for our merchants, and then from there they're able to go through and they're able to customize it to their heart's desire. So that would be what I would say is the starting point is a little bit more advanced now than maybe previously that it was. but also reach out to us. Like we're happy to collaborate with any of our merchants on any sort of front end look and feel stuff, as well as any sort of back end requirements that they're looking to accomplish. Look, reach out to us. We have an in-house development team that we're happy to take on work to help out with if we don't have an agency partner that we're working with. We also have a lot of agency partners that we're happy to recommend if it's something where you're looking to you need a little bit more work done. So I would say there's a couple areas where we can help, but it's probably been improved since maybe they originally tried to tackle doing some of the
That's
CMS stuff.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's great. And I think that we all have to remember too that no tool out there is perfect. But what
sure.
I loved about your answer is that your team wants to work with their customers. You guys are there, you want to make the improvements, you want to
Yeah,
hear what people are saying, because that is how you improve the tool. And so these,
absolutely.
if anything, it's almost sometimes good to know that there are challenges that people are having, that there are some bugs that you guys can
Yeah.
fix and make it even better
It's
for
one of the
your
things that we do.
customers.
We make our product roadmap accessible through the Clevie Merchant Center to all of our customers, so they have the ability to like, hey, if it's even something from like their specific need that they have, like we take a look at that as we're planning our roadmap, and that's how we come up with a lot of our improvements are from the people who are using it day to day. So, getting that sort of feedback and having the ability to go in and give real time feedback is something that we offer, and we really value that feedback from our merchants and partners as well. So yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Griffin.
Yeah,
And
of
thank you,
course. Thank you.
Bernardo, for that question. And like I said, Griffin, if you could stay back and answer the
Absolutely.
questions that we have still in here. But before we move on, we do have to announce the big winner of the full commerce edit package that
Yeah.
CleView is offering. So the winner is going to be, we got Cornelia Gelzinti. I am so sorry that I cannot pronounce your last name correctly, but Cornelia, you are the winner, and we'll ensure that Griffin gets your information so
Amazing.
you can get that full commerce edit as well too.
Cool. Thanks so much, Aaron.
Thank you.
Thank
All right, friends. Well, okay, we are actually at the point of the presentation where it's now my turn. So very excited to take the stage. Just give me a couple of seconds to, let me just share my screen. Let's make sure that everyone can see it. All right, how is that looking for everyone? Are we good? Okay. Okay, we're good. Perfect. Okay, so again, hello. My name again is Erin Watt, and I am one of the tech partner managers here at Triple Whale. So today's presentation is all about using data to conquer Q4. So I will be sharing actionable insights to help you make the most of this critical period, both during and after the holiday season. But before we dive into the data, let's answer a question that might be on some of your minds. What exactly is Triple Whale? Okay, so Triple Whale is your all-in-one analytics tool that consolidates all of your data into one user-friendly centralized dashboard. It integrates with major ad channels and platforms. Think BigCommerce, Google, Meta, and tools like Gorgeous and Klaviyo, so that it can provide you with a really holistic view of who your customers are, where they came from, what they bought, and of course, how much it costs to acquire them. And today, Triple Whale is proudly the source of truth for 20,000 plus stores. So here are just a few of some of the amazing brands that we get to work with daily, achieving some really impressive results as a Triple Whale customer. So we got brands like Milk Bar, Doe Lashes, Avi, Portland Leather, are just a few examples. If you did want to learn more about their success, or maybe you want to explore some other brands, we do have a whole section of case studies on our website. Happy to share all of those case studies, the links to it at the end of the presentation in the chat. So just let me know. All right, so now that we're familiar with Triple Whale, let's review what we will be covering today in our presentation. So first, we're going to review data from Q3 and Q4 2023 on metrics like ad spend, conversion rates, and ROAS to highlight key changes and how to adjust your strategy in 2024. Next, we'll dive into Q4's ad landscape, so focusing on trends like Meta's growing dominance, Google's decline, and also TikTok's rising efficiency. And then finally, we'll share Triple Whale's prediction for the rest of Q4 and offer some winning strategies to maximize performance. All right, friends, let's jump in. So we're going to first start by reviewing and comparing the industry data from Q3 versus Q4 of 2023. Okay, so in Q4 of 2023, ad spend rose by an average about 44% across all industries compared to Q3. So this surge is expected as brands ramp up for the holidays. The biggest increase really came from toys and hobbies at about 132%, while pet supplies saw the smallest at about 15%. So the surge is really driven by brands recognizing that the holiday season is a key revenue period, and then also increasing competition for ad space. So with the competition for ad space increasing, it obviously becomes very vital for brands to plan ahead and allocate budget that they can withstand with those increased costs. All right, so now let's talk about purchases. In Q4, the average increase in purchases was about 39%, with toys and hobbies once again leading the way up at 122%. So it's clear that the holiday season drives higher demand, especially for giftable items like toys. But even with the increase in ad spend, this does not necessarily translate to a proportional increase in ROAS, which we will dive into in the next slide. So, despite the spike in spending, an increase in ad spend, it did not only lead to better ROAS in Q4. So, in some cases, the increase was actually quite small. For example, we'll actually use toys and hobbies as the same example. They saw a 132% jump in ad spend, but ROAS only increased by 3%. So this really does underscore the need for brands to optimize their ad spend, as higher spend doesn't always equal better returns. One thing I also want everyone to keep in mind, as we all know, advertising gets more competitive and costly in Q4, but especially during an election year, which is what we're experiencing now. So last year, we actually saw higher cost per click, cost per thousand impressions, as well as cost per acquisition across most industries. So the increased competition for ad placements drives up cost. So brands must be prepared to pay more for each conversion as well as impression. The big takeaway, even in a very competitive market, there is room to boost ad efficiency. So by refining your strategy, by focusing on high converting creatives, precise targeting, and smart ad placements to maintain or improve ROAS will really help during that Q4 surge. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the changing ad landscape and where brands are going to be allocating their budget in Q4. So our first insight, unfortunately, Google is kind of struggling. So Google's declining ad efficiency and rising costs are actually pushing brands to reallocate their budgets. So since Q1 of 2023, Google's ad efficiency has steadily declined due to rising costs and lower conversion rates, with unfortunately no signs of really recovering at the moment. So over the past 7 quarters, this downturn has led to a consistent shift in ad spend from Google to other platforms. And this trend has persisted throughout peak seasons, even including Black Friday, Cyber Monday 2023, where Google saw almost a 13% year-over-year decline in ad share. As stores actually started shifting away from Google, this decision actually proved quite savvy because also the ROAS dropped almost 15% in 2023 compared to 2022. So as a result, many brands are reallocating their ad spend to more efficient platforms. And then our next insight, Meta, they're the dominant player in the ad space. So its ad quality and performance just continues to improve, making it the top choice for advertisers. So despite the rising cost, Meta has remained the most stable advertising platform in 2024. So Meta, which does make up Facebook and Instagram, does remain the top choice for advertisers, especially as we head into the 2024 holiday season. So while there are several metrics to consider, looking at Meta's share of overall ad budgets clearly shows its dominance among popular channels. So from 2023 to 2024, ad spend on Meta has increased by 30%, with a slight improvement in ROAS. And so thanks to its stability and also its scalability, Meta continues to be a really reliable advertising platform. And for our third insight, TikTok's growth continues. So while it hasn't had significantly It hasn't significantly shifted ad spend away from platforms like Google or Meta. It still does remain highly effective for brands with smaller AOVs. So TikTok's ad efficiency keeps improving, especially for brands with lower average order values. So TikTok's average AOV is about $40. And when we compare that to Facebook's $90 and Google's $70 AOV, TikTok really is ideal for those lower priced impulse buys. So while its ad spend share remains modest, ROAS has risen nearly 23%, and cost per acquisition has dropped significantly, making TikTok really a cost-effective choice for not only customer acquisition, but also driving impulse-driven purchases. So, we're thinking makeup, we're thinking hairlines, maybe even health and wellness. And then for our last insight, we will focus on Amazon's unique position. So Amazon's share of ad spend has just grown so significantly year over year, and it really has just solidified its role as a major player in the ad space. So Amazon's ad spend share has reached almost 6% in Q1 to Q3 of 2024, about a 74 increase year over year. And Amazon's unique advantage is really owning the marketplace where its ads appear. So it really does give it a distinct advantage over other platforms, which is pretty evident in its really high conversion rate of 12%, which is significantly outperforming other channels. However, with an average order value of about $40, which is very similar to TikTok, Amazon focus still does remain on those cheaper, often more impulse-driven products. Okay, and now we're going to dive into our final section for today. So these are going to be Triple Whale's Q4 predictions. So these are going to be based on last year's data and early insights from this year. And we have 3 predictions for the rest of Q4 with some actionable strategies that you can actually start implementing right away. So our first prediction, and this is no surprise, record high ad costs. So in Q4 of 2024, we expected ad costs to hit an all-time high, surpassing those of Q4 of 2023. So this surge will be very fueled by increased competition, but also, of course, the upcoming election. Now, despite record high ad costs, there is still time to make strategy adjustments that can actually drive success in this very challenging environment. So to maximize your Q4 performance, you really want to first focus on optimizing conversion rates. So really just fine tuning your website to making every click count. So this is something that even Griffin was just talking about, those small improvements like refine your landing pages, streamlining checkout flows, and adding those personalized product recommendations can just really have a big impact on boosting conversion rates. You also really want to concentrate on standout creative. So with the flood of ads in Q4, capturing attention is going to be super critical. So your creative must be visually compelling, highly targeted, and relevant to your audience's needs to cut through the noise and also to drive results. And then lastly, boost AOV and product bundling, also something that Griffin just recently touched on. With the product recommendations, both before and during the checkout process. So as ad costs rise, increasing your average order value just becomes super critical. So focus on strategic product bundling to maximize each conversion and improve margins, making your ad spend even that much more efficient. And our next prediction, again, not a big surprise here. More brands will shift greater share of their ad spend to Facebook, especially as other platforms experience diminishing returns or rising costs. So how can we maximize the performance on Facebook? Well, there's a few different things we can start with. So the first is advancing audience segmentation. So you can actually use tools like Triple Whale's Smart Customer Data Platform to create segments based on purchase behavior, interest, or even creating lookalikes audiences. And this will actually help you to boost ad relevance as well as ROAS. Next, you want to focus on dynamic creative testing. So we just talked about the importance of having standout creative so you can break through all the other ads in the space during Q4. So continuously testing different ad formats, messaging and visuals, and you can use tools like Facebook's dynamic tools or even Triple Whale's Creative Cockpit to discover actually what drives the best engagement for all your messaging and your visuals. And then lastly, prioritizing mobile first experience. I was actually just talking to an attendance member about the important shift of shoppers now moving away from their laptops to a mobile first experience. So with most users browsing on mobile, you need to make sure that your ads and your landing pages are mobile optimized to increase conversion rates and also minimize drop off. And I know our friend over at Attentive that will be speaking today can also help talk about that as well too. And then for our final prediction, and this might be new to a lot of audience members, it was a new one for me that I also had to dive into, is that the strongest brands won't just aim for higher AOV and conversion rates, they'll also optimize pre-visitor metrics like revenue per visitor or cost per mil per visitor. If that's new to you, don't worry. The next slide explains everything. Okay, so pre-visitor optimization aims to maximize the value of each visitor by focusing on revenue and profit per visitor rather than just AOV or conversion rates. So really the key metrics that we're going to focus on in this area is going to be revenue per visitor. So that is the average revenue generated per visitor calculated by dividing total revenue by total visitors. So it just offers a clear view of how well traffic converts into revenue. And then you have your cost per mil per visitor. So this is the cost it is to reach 1,000 visitors. So this will help you to see how you're spending to bring in people into your site and how that cost compares to the money that they bring in. Why is it important to prioritize these metrics? Well, first, they help to give you more of that holistic view. So RPV and CPM per visitor just provide that comprehensive look at site performance. It also will help you to really focus on profit. So tracking profit per visitor just ensures growth is sustainable by maximizing profitability, not just sales volume. And then lastly, it actually will also help with customer acquisition. So brands with high LTV will really focus on optimizing RPV to attract more customers for the same ad spend, driving long-term growth. Just before we wrap up, I do have an example to make this even a little bit easier. So just to illustrate how important of prioritizing per visitor metrics are, let's consider a really simple scenario. So imagine that you have a lemonade stand and you have two ways of selling your lemonade. The first scenario, you sell your lemonade for $5 and 7 out of every 100 people buy a cup, earning you a $2.50 profit per cup. Your second scenario, you bundle lemonade with a cookie for $8, but only 2 out of every 100 people buy, generating a $6 profit per bundle. So really, the big key takeaway here is at first, the second scenario may appear more effective as you are more profitable per sale. However, the first scenario may be more effective as it actually drives more purchases despite smaller sales, resulting in greater profit overall. So leading brands will actually focus on optimizing RPV and CPM per visitor as it just attracts more customers. It will help to boost profitability and also sustain growth, helping to absorb higher ad costs and also enhancing ROAS. And that concludes my presentation, friends. So if you do have any questions, please drop them in the chat. I have kind of seen the chat moving as I've been talking, but I do want to move the presentation along. So whilst we have our presentations up, I will make sure to go through everything. Also, if anyone is interested in exploring Triple Whale, I do recommend trying our free, that is right, our free forever analytics tool called Founders Dash. It is just a really great way to dive into the data at no cost. And you also will get a feel for what Triple Whale has to offer. So I will also share that in the chat as well. And before we go, we have to announce the winner for that $100 gift card. Okay, so I am scrolling. And the winner is going to be Karen White. Karen White, you will be the winner of the $100 Visa gift card. Congratulations. Okay, so let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, beautiful. All right, so let's keep this moving along. We have some amazing speakers coming up. So I am very, very excited. My good friend, Lorena, she is the Senior Tech Partner Manager over at Attentive. Please welcome her to the stage. Lorraine, I think I just called you Lorena by accident. So sorry.
I've gotten like 3 different names this presentation, and I'm here for it.
I do not know why I just
Whatever you
called you
want.
Loretta. No, Lorraine, the Senior Tech Partner Manager at Attentive. Very, very happy to have you here. Always a great presentation when you're here. So thank you so much for joining us. I will allow you to set up your screen to make sure that we are able to see it.
Awesome. Can everyone see that okay?
Yes, we can.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is actually Lauren. I'm a Senior Tech Partnership Manager here at Attentive. I'm super excited to be with everyone today. Thank you guys for making the time. And I do want to apologize in advance. I am coming down with a cold. So if I sound a little froggy or take a second to sip my tea, thank you for bearing with me and this voice. So today we're going to be talking about how to unlock post-holiday success. So think Q4, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and beyond using personalization and AI. And for those who aren't familiar with Attentive, we are the leading AI-powered SMS and email marketing platform, serving over 8,000 brands today. You'll see that incredible roster on the right. And last year alone, we drove over $20 billion in revenue for our customers. And that number is only increasing year after year. And as we're talking about personalization today, Attentive's mission, our goal with our brands and incredible customers that we serve, is to create really bespoke shopping experiences for consumers with the brands they love. And while we started as the leader in SMS, and for those who are Attentive customers or maybe heard of us, you probably know us for SMS, text message marketing, but our mobile first strategy has really allowed us to venture into email, and we are really proud that we have best in class deliverability, a great suite of list growth tools to kind of increase your audience, and then an incredible suite of tools to also help you create those personalized and really meaningful messages. And I'm not going to go too much into a product demo today. I really want to talk to you about how you can use personalization, segmentation to really drive those great experiences. And all of these capabilities and what I'm talking about is available in the Attentive platform. But to set the stage on why personalization is so important, one of the big key reasons is that you've heard it before, AI has really changed the game. While AI has been a buzzword for several years, AI specifically for mobile messaging marketing has really allowed us to create those one-to-one experiences at scale. And the result of that is consumers are starting to look for those really bespoke one-to-one personalized messaging experiences. And if they don't get that, they're breaking up with those brands. Erin actually mentioned this, but all consumers are becoming more mobile centric, and they're making those purchases on their phones. 74% of commerce shopping actually takes place on a mobile device, but also 75% of those consumers who don't feel like they're getting that really one-to-one message experience are likely to unsubscribe or switch. And so, I think Erin talked about some really great trends. It's great to follow because I was feeling really good. I was like, oh, cool. Some of these trends really match up with what we're seeing in the market as well. But beyond, this need for personalization driven by consumer preference, 2 other big trends we're seeing that really are going to kind of point us in the direction of, using SMS and email and personalized experience to drive revenue is one, just economic uncertainty. And a lot of inflation in the market. Consumers are now looking to get more out of their dollar as they're spending, especially during the holidays. So, whether that's through competitive pricing, really unique value prop to your product, bundling, superior quality, brands are going to have to put in the work and kind of create that personalization to capture their shoppers' attention this year. And then Erin also mentioned this one, but ad spend is going to be a big thing that really drives, I think, these owned channels like SMS and email to be really effective this quarter. We know that paid ad channels are going to be very saturated with the upcoming election, and it's actually going to expected to hit about $12 billion this year, which is 3 times the amount in 2016. So again, SMS and email, your owned channels are going to be particularly important for your holiday messaging. And so, we've talked about the trends. How can we kind of think about, where we are today, and how can we put some of these personalization into action as you're kind of heading into the holiday shopping season? And I want to kind of come back to basics and talk about segmentation and personalization. There are 2 terms we use frequently. I'm sure there's a ton of savvy marketers on the call right now, but while they're used interchangeably, they're different. Segmentation is really about how you dissect your audience, how you're breaking them up based on identifiable characteristics. This can be their location, it can be their demographic, like age, male, female. It can be about their purchase history, their loyalty status. All of those different attributes are going to be how you kind of slice and dice a segment to make sure you're talking to the right person. And then personalization is going to be how you talk to that audience, optimizing that communication for that segment that you've created. And this can be based on behaviors that you've seen on site. It can be on their preferences, what they've bought before, but that's going to really talk to you about how you craft that message to that person. And when you put that all together, that's really what powers a really personalized one-to-one experience. And a couple tips, and I love to bring in customer examples because I think our customers do it best. But how can you approach segmentation and personalization? Where do you start? And these are kind of 3 ways that we find really effective, or scenarios that you might kind of run into. The first is you might have a message in mind. In the first example, ABC Carpet and Home is opening up a new retail location. So they want to announce that, and what you want to say, but you need an audience. So that might be a really great time to segment based on location of your audience. Another, something else you might have is a goal in mind, but you need to find the right message and the audience. In this example, by a beauty brand, maybe you have a surplus of a summer product and you want to try to offload it before the holiday season. And in this kind of scenario, they bundled it as like free when you make a certain number of a certain purchase amount. So that's a really great way to kind of take a goal, but also drive purchases and engagement through segmentation and personalizing that way. And the last is behavior-based, used a lot, but you maybe want to move your customers through the life cycle. So you have a repeat purchaser and you want to kind of let them know that they've moved into a new loyalty tier. That could be a behavior-based where you're helping them move through the customer life cycle, getting them, to love your brand even more and feel like a VIP. And this one's a bit of an eye chart, but I love the format of it. And there's a full guide that I'm happy to share after this session. So I won't go through all of this, but this is kind of a great exercise to go through when you're thinking about your segmentation strategy, kind of going from left to right. If you have a strategy in mind, like re-engagement, kind of then going through the motion to get to your personalized message, thinking about, okay, what's the timing? What does that segment look like? And what message is going to be right for that segment? So just to go through one example, let's say you're trying to re-engage lapsed users. You might think about the timing. Okay, I want to send them one message per month to kind of get them re-engaged and get them back to engaging, clicking, and purchasing. Then you have to think about your segment. Well, what defines an unengaged or lapsed subscriber? Maybe, this can be different for every brand, but in this case, hasn't, clicked on a text message in at least 60 days. And then your example messaging might be something like, hey, we want to make sure, we want to hear from you. Is there anything specific you're looking to hear from us? And this is a great way to kind of use the very conversational nature of text message marketing. But you can kind of say, like, what are you most interested in hearing about? Promos, new arrivals, or do you want to hear all messages? And this allows you to kind of collect that zero-party data to make sure you're messaging that specific user when they want to be messaged and the content of what they're expecting to hear, whether that's, new shoe drop or a big sale, right? And again, this is a great exercise that can get, rinsed and repeated for a variety of strategies, goals, or segments. Quick sip of tea. Awesome. And I chatted about this as well, but I think this is one of my favorite tactics. And again, something that is very unique about SMS marketing is being able to kind of collect that zero-party data and use that kind of back and forth conversational nature of text messages. So Attentive has a variety of ways that you can do this to collect unique attributes and make sure you're sharing messages with your subscribers that they actually want to engage with. But one great example that I love from Crocs is like engaging them with a quiz, right? We all know Crocs has those great little Croc charms that they put. So they had a really fun message where they're like, hey, tell us your vibe. And they had a quiz of gamer, foodie, fashionista, right? And, they could click that. And then there's an option to also create a journey to like take them to a custom landing page with, charms and shoes that fit that vibe. Another great way is to do it as soon as you're collecting that new subscriber. So Attentive has a huge suite of sign-up units to collect new subscribers, no matter where a consumer is engaging with your brand. In this example, it looks like potentially like an Instagram ad where they enter the site through a mobile site, and they get a sign-up offer where they can collect the sign-up offer and sign up for text message to receive it. But this brand, Orchard Street Coffee, also asked a question like, what roast are you most interested in? And that's also a great way to collect a consumer preference right off the bat, so you can start tailoring that message and put them into a journey on products they really want to hear about. And the last kind of great way to collect zero-party data is, again, use keywords to like trigger a journey or a campaign. And in this one, I think this is a great holiday shopping example, holiday gift guides, right? So this brand was like, hey, you're shopping for a Father's Day gift. Like, what's your budget? And then the subscriber can, pick what their budget is, and then immediately trigger a landing page to gifts within that budget. So you're helping them shop. You're kind of cutting through a massive site and taking them to a really tailored page to drive a purchase. And we talked about zero-party data, and I'd be remiss not talking about our amazing BigCommerce integration, a great way to collect that first-party data. So we have a really robust integration that allows our brands to use all of that valuable data, whether that's back in stock, low inventory, price drops, or browsing activity, specific first-party data from users around abandoned cart, post-purchase messages, and be able to really trigger messages from the Attentive platform based on that shopping behavior. Additionally, again, all of that shopping behavior can also be used for segmentation within the Attentive platform to create really detailed segments around their purchasing or browsing behavior around specific products, colors, what have you. So another really great way to use our immense suite of integrations to drive personalization. And then I'll kind of switch tracks. I've talked a lot about SMS. I do want to also talk about email and give you guys some tips heading into the holiday season. And really, there's a lot of really great ways that you can optimize your campaign emails and the body of your emails using and subject lines. So a couple kind of quick tips, for better open rates, adding the full name for your personalization is the most effective based on last year's data from Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We've also seen that in subject lines, the word sale actually outperforms having, percentage off or the word free, which always kind of surprises me. And then another one that I think, you want to say a lot, you have a lot of objectives, new signups, maybe, feedback, new product drops, sales. Really try to limit the number of call to actions in an email as not to like overwhelm your consumers by indecision, and to also make sure you're kind of driving a very specific action to be able to measure how that specific action performed. And then the last thing, I think Erin mentioned this one too, thorough testing. Make sure you don't have broken links. Make sure that your emails are optimized for both mobile and desktop, and also make sure like no one wants to receive like first name brackets in your email, which I actually received one 2 weeks ago, which was pretty funny. But make sure you're doing really thorough testing ahead of your holiday campaigns. Timing is everything. And sometimes it can be, especially with your campaigns, can be really hard to kind of figure out when you're going to send these really important messages around the holidays, Black Friday, etc. But AI can kind of do a lot of the heavy lifting, and Attentive has an incredible suite of AI products. One of them being our Send Time AI, which allows us to kind of send these messages to the subscriber at the time that they're most likely to open it. Use AI to your benefit this holiday season. You're going to be sending a lot of messages. Kind of take some of that work out of, get that guesswork out and use AI for things like send time. And lastly, we know kind of opt-outs are going to be on everyone's mind. You get a lot of site traffic, people looking for sales. They might, opt in to, get that one-time offer and then opt out. But don't worry, for 2 years in a row now, we've seen that subscribers who opt out during Cyber Week are generally really low value. Over 75% of them haven't made a purchase. And for those who have purchased anything, 81% of consumers only purchase once. So really focus on the subscribers who do stay subscribed. Make sure you have really great journeys to kind of bring them into your loyal fan base. And don't take the opt-outs too seriously. Really focus on, again, tailored messages to the subscribers who last. And I'll wrap it up here with an incredible resource that our marketing team put together. They gathered all of the tips and tricks, resources, guides, customer examples, message examples. This archive, you can scan that code right there, or I'm happy to put the link in the chat. But please use that as you're kind of heading not only into Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but the holiday season. There's so much in there. And then I also included my email there. I'll also drop it in the chat. But if you want to learn more, I know I didn't have time to go into a product demo. Please reach out to me. And I'm also happy to share more about our 30-day free trial so that you can see how SMS can really drive your subscriber growth and drive those personalized messages as you head into the holiday season. Thank you guys so much. Not sure if there's any questions. I've been in the deck. Hopefully I wasn't too froggy.
No, that was a very good call. Like, honestly, I feel like every single time I watch an Attentive presentation, there's always something new that I'm learning. Like, I really don't feel like there's not something that you guys can't do. You offer everything in making SMS marketing so easy for every customer. Like, it really is the ultimate tool for SMS marketing.
Oh, geez. Well, thank you, Erin. We love our customers. And I'm personally, I love receiving my tech. I do so much shopping on mobile. So I'm totally one of those people that's like, oh, new shoe drop. Guess I have to do it.
Well, and this wasn't in the chat, but I do have a question because, now in both of our presentations, it's even been in the chat. We are talking more and more about mobile optimization, that really mobile shopping is the future. So even though we all know this, I'm sure there are so many brands out there that are not utilizing, they're not utilizing their website to be more mobile optimized. They're not doing SMS marketing. So how easy is it for a brand to get set up with Attentive and feel that they're really getting the most out of the product, that they're now going to start seeing results from a tool like Attentive?
Absolutely. It can be definitely daunting, especially like for those who haven't used SMS before in their as one of their marketing channels, to kind of get set up and really build that list. And I think one of the main value props, like with Attentive, and I'll give a huge shout out to our CS team, is that we really kind of, from implementation on, really handhold and focus on driving our customer success and building their list and being able to set up their journeys and, create these really bespoke experiences. And we're there every step of the way. We do a lot of customer education, dedicated CSMs who, are gold on our customer success, which I think is really unique to Attentive. And list growth is really one of those areas where Attentive thrives and where we really built our brand. Collecting those subscribers and being able to have, multiple areas where you're, collecting new subscribers and being able to build your lists is somewhere that, we can show a lot of value very early on. And especially before Black Friday, when you're expecting to get a lot of web traffic, it's an excellent time to kind of make sure you have those, collection points on your website, on your mobile ads, et cetera. So, to brands that aren't on using SMS yet, we have a really great trial period for you to be able to really test that before, you put your entire budget into SMS. So please reach out to me if you have any more questions too.
Oh, that's so great. And I mean, it's one thing to also have all these lists that are being built out for you, but then also to have a tool that helps you then, be able to create activities that result in results with those lists as well too, right? Because sometimes we have all these lists, we don't know what to do with them, but Attentive also has all these features that now also brands can utilize and actually make the most out of these lists and actually start seeing results from them as well. So yeah, all really great things to be working with Attentive. All right. So before we jump off, we are going to choose the winner of the $75 Uber gift card. So let me just quickly scroll through. And the winner is going to be Mike Miller. Mike Miller, you are the winner of the $75 Uber gift card from Attentive. Congratulations.
Yeah, Mike.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And if you can actually put your information into the chat so that our lovely attendees can also be able to reach out to you and have more questions for you as well, too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Erin. Appreciate
Thank
you hosting.
All right, friends, I cannot believe we are already at the end of today's session. Just before we jump into the next presentation, just thank you to everyone who has just been such, great at participating and so engaged. You really are the reason why we're able to make these presentations happen. And it really does also help out the presenters to know exactly, what you're thinking, what are the challenges, and how they can also assist as well too. So everyone's been just super great. And now we're saving the best for last. We are so excited to welcome to the stage Quentin, the COO of Shipper HQ. Quentin, come on down. I think you have to, there you go. And now
I was waiting for you to clap. I'm kidding. It's the last session, so there's a reason we give out Starbucks. Everyone needs a little caffeine. The last thing to talk about is shipping, so you got to bring a little energy to it.
I mean, I love Shipper HQ. People are waiting for this presentation. Okay, like caffeine or no, they're excited. We're ready to jump in.
The caffeine helps.
It does. It 100% does. And look at that. You're on top of things. We already got the presentation out. It's looking beautiful. I'm going to leave and let you take over the stage.
Awesome. Thank you, Erin. First question, is the person from Ireland still here? Because if you are and you're dedicated this much, I will give you your own Starbucks gift card if you don't win it. But good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. My name is Quentin Montalto. As Erin mentioned, I'm the COO of Shipper HQ. Just to talk a little bit about us, why I'm here, and why I feel like I have the credentials to talk about shipping. So we're an old company in the world of tech and SaaS. We've been around since 2008. We're actually a company that was founded by our CEO. Her husband was an online merchant, had a shipping problem back in 2008. She solved it and thought, wow, okay, there's a pretty good idea around this. Let's make it a company. So we've been built into the core of BigCommerce ever since 2015. And we're very happy to be here. We work with a lot of these people that are on here, a lot of the same partners. So let's just put ourselves in a world where we can imagine shipping. So we've talked about personalization, we've talked about search, we've talked about the text messages that we get. You guys have made me buy so much things from CB2 and Crate and Barrel. I saw them on there. I'm looking at you, Lauren, on that. What if we could cut your cart abandonment by half? and not with some snake oil sales and not with just sprinkling on the rest of the personalization stuff that we saw, but how about doing it in a way that we could also reduce down your customer shipping issues? And what if all at the same time we're talking about getting more orders, we can make it a little bit more profitable? Shipping is one of the untapped areas of optimization in our perspective. 90% of people believe that shipping is one of the reasons that makes up their online experience. We believe that the last two things you really remember from a website is how much you paid for shipping. Hopefully it's free. Hopefully you added those shoelaces in like Griffin did to make sure that's free, or when that package arrives at your door. We really think shipping is a core tenet to what that is. And with that, there's something that we like to refer to as the Amazon effect. We are all programmed and conditioned to want to know when the item is going to arrive. And we're pissed off if it doesn't make it there in time. I.e. talking about the Aaron ordered that item, it took 2 weeks. Oof, it's rough. 65% of consumers are willing to pay for that faster delivery. Now, if you get them to pay, you also need to be able to deliver on it. So the state of commerce, like I mentioned, the Amazon effect, they're putting us all in the rat race. They're forcing us to focus on things like shipping costs, like fraud, and ultimately that consumer demand. Whenever I think about shipping consumer demand, it's very simple. I think, what would I want? What would my household want? How would my partner and I want to do shipping? If she orders something, she expects it the next day. I see shipping and I go, I don't care when it arrives. I'm choosing the cheapest method. At the end of the day, it's probably going ground either way. But there's a lot of unpredictability with this, especially as we start to get into this Q4 area. The surcharges start. We're going to start looking at surcharges on residential delivery, surcharges on overnight shipping. All of these things are, your margins, or these are unexpected fees, or these are things that can actually turn customers away from you. We no longer see shipping as a nice to have or an afterthought. We see this as a forefront leading thing in that checkout optimization. 18 billion dollars is lost annually due to cart abandonment. That's why we're talking about this. 71% of that is due to shipping costs and slow delivery. Just gonna let this one sink in for a second because I feel like that's a lot. The surprise costs are a real deal. Sometimes you look at it, you go and say, you know what, I need to go to Target. I'll buy the Goodfellow version of it anyways. What does it matter? So with that, I want to talk about the 3 strategies that I think we could deploy. Now, these strategies are things we could do today, so things we could do tomorrow, but these are things that are really, really going to sit on your conscience as you're looking at 2025 if you don't have these things already looking at. Now, you're going to notice a few of these things are like things that we talked about. To kick it off, Ethan talked about personalization in the checkout on BigCommerce. Tick, that is a one and done. You need to do that. Griffin and Aaron talked about free shipping and the importance of that, and when's that item going to arrive. So in the example of Aaron's purchasing online, showing that delivery date and paying for the expedited shipping method, that's great. But the things you need to take into account as a store owner is, when does that truck leave? How long can that item be in transit? Do I have it in the warehouse? All of these data and variables are things that you can consider to power that accurate delivery date and checkout. So one of the lowest hanging fruits, and one of the questions I talk to merchants and say, hey, is there an equivalent product to yours sold on Amazon? Yes. Okay, they need delivery date functionality. Why? Because they're going to look at that. It doesn't matter how pretty the site is. Attentive is going to get that text message. You're going to open up the website. If you can't see when it arrives, you're going to go, I could get to know when it arrives. So this is low hanging fruit number 1, folks. The second thing I want to talk about, and one of the things we talked about of adding those shoelaces in, is how do you make free shipping profitable? Now, free shipping is one of the really great things, and you can slap it on everything. They say, hey, do it over $100. Let's do free shipping. I wouldn't recommend doing that personally, because there's certain products where free shipping do and don't make sense. Items with high margins, absolutely. Let's play with the free shipping on that. My takeaway from this is, do free shipping profitably and strategically. As you look at your product catalog, what items have no margins? One of the things that we called back earlier was backstocked items in Q1. Let's say, for example, my curling irons didn't sell very well because they don't believe my TikTok ads because I have no hair. Those curling irons, I could say, you know what? For those, if you buy one of those, that's free shipping. But if you buy my hair dryer, and I know how to use a hair dryer, that doesn't get free shipping. You're able to make those decisions and have that logic there to be able to power that experience. Shipping, as you can see on that bottom right-hand corner there, is the average order value is one of the things that you can really control and dictate with this. You make people want to get to that threshold. How can they get to the threshold? That's when you work with partners like Clayvu to be able to offer in that checkout, hey, you could add this item. Well, products like ourselves can make sure that, hey, when that threshold gets met, here's what can happen. But really serving that up and just taking a step back and looking at what all these partners can do together, it starts to stitch together a story. BigCommerce is the platform that can bring it together. Triple Whale's the data source that's going to look and say, hey, this is going really well, or hey, this is not going really well. Attentive can then be the message to push that out. Hey, let's get some more information going here. It all ties together. And the last strategy we're going to talk about, and not stepping on Triple Whale's toes, but one of the things that we see is not enough data in shipping. Shipping is one of the things that at the end of the month you get an invoice and somebody's going to disgruntledly come to your office and say, hey, we need to switch from UPS to FedEx because they're ripping us off. Nobody's ripping anybody off. The data and science of shipping is now extending into the checkout and it's extending into e-commerce. So one of the things I recommend to anyone is take a look at your invoices. Q4 for most people, you're going to see more orders in Q4 than you are in Q1. So this is a great data set to allow you to experience and review what you're seeing. Measuring things between your shipping costs and what's collected is an awesome way to look at that. That's a 2025. How do we look to profit? Where do we look for money? Simple things like shipping are one of the areas you can see a lot of growth and expectations on. Now, we talked about ROAS. There's an acronym that we like to talk. It's ROS, not Geller, but return on shipping spend. One of the things that we're able to look at is if you're going to give this, what's your return on your shipping spend? How much money can you make from that? All the strategies that we're talking about deploying, that calculated free shipping, you setting those thresholds, you giving that Amazon delivery date, all of these things are low-hanging fruit that are available in your e-commerce platform like BigCommerce, or they're also available in tools like ourselves to really take it to that next level. This is kind of quick because I don't want to make everyone talk about shipping for the rest of the 24 minutes, but we did put together a ultimate shipping strategy checklist that I'm really proud of. Our marketing team did a lot of research, did a lot of data to understand what are those thresholds, how are those different archetypes of customers behaving, and what are the things that we can do from that. If you enjoyed the session and you'd like to learn more about how Shipper HQ can help power some of those objectives that I covered off, give us a shout.
Thank you. Quick and efficient. It was a really great presentation with a lot of great dad jokes. The curling iron, Ross Geller. I was giggling. I was giggling back here. So that was great. Thank you so much for that presentation. I got to learn so much more about Shipper HQ. Would really love to, and I mean, this is like a big question, but just to even like get an understanding of maybe like what are the top differences between you and some of the competitor products out there that brands can be utilizing.
Absolutely. So there's one in particular that a lot of people think we're competitors with, but we're partners, and I'll talk about ShipStation. So Shipper HQ, we power that cart and checkout. So if you're thinking about where we live in the spectrum of logistics, these are typing fingers. These fingers do not put labels on boxes and do not put boxes in the mail. Our job is to make sure that gets to those people who know how to print that label. So we're going to live in that BigCommerce store, make sure shipping is accurate, your business logic is met, and once that customer clicks order, we pass that data back in. And that's when a partner of ours like ShipStation or Shippo, really, Aaron, where a lot of those other ships who a lot of people think are competitors, that's when they would be able to execute that label. And then a ShipBob, somebody who actually holds those packages and would distribute those, that would be a separate thing. So we're on the website. We're more of where PayPal and like the Avalara and Vertex are versus our partners at ShipStation and Shippo who actually execute that label.
Yeah, and I'm actually happy that you mentioned that because I do think that if you just see the word ship, you just automatically think that this is going to be a competitor.
There's a lot of us.
You don't think that you guys actually all work together to ensure a very seamless process. So that's wonderful. Thanks for that explanation.
My pleasure.
Okay, well, it does actually. Oh, we got Bernardo. So Bernardo actually came on. So he is a proud Shipper HQ customer. But just recently was noticing that he had some click and collect orders that got sent to 3 or more different shops. Seems like there was a bit of an issue there. So is there anything that you would recommend Bernardo to do?
Bernard, email me your phone number. I'll give you a call after this. I'm happy to take a look at your account and see what's going on there.
Perfect. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, all of our tools, we all have challenges. There's all things that we have to work through. And so, great way to get connected. And I know Quentin will be more than happy to ensure that this gets solved very quickly. All right, wonderful. Well, before we jump off, let's make sure that one of the audience members gets their caffeine fix with the $75 Starbucks card. So I'm going to do a quick look through and we'll have Ricardo Matos. Ricardo, you are going to be the winner of the $75 Starbucks gift card from Shipper HQ. Thank you so much. Wonderful. All right, friends. Well, that is our presentation for today. But if you enjoyed this webinar, you are definitely not going to want to miss our upcoming events. So on November 7th, we are hosting a must-attend webinar that brings together industry experts not only to share their winning strategies for Meta BFCM ads, but also they will be able to provide some actual takeaways to help you launch your most successful campaigns yet. So we will be joined by our partners and friends from Customer AI, Insense, Hype 10, Shopanova, and Levitate. And I'm going to just quickly add the webinar invite into the chat right now so everyone can sign up. And honestly, if you do sign up and you want to, you secure that spot, even if you can't attend live by signing up, you will also receive the recording. So just make sure that you did sign up so that you can at least get that recording if you cannot get it live. And then lastly, just a really big thank you to everyone who attended today's webinar. So your participation is what makes the session possible. And we honestly, truly appreciate your engagement in making them super informative and also interactive. If anyone has any questions about Triple Whale or comments about how we can make our webinar series even better, please feel free to reach out via LinkedIn, or you can also email me at erinwatt@triplewhale.com. And there's another big thank you to our experts who have come to speak today. We really appreciate the presentations. We know they take a ton of work to create, but the knowledge that we all gathered from everyone today was irreplaceable. So thank you again. It was just wonderful to be your host, and we really do look forward to seeing all of you at our next event. Thanks, everyone.